G'day, Rich from Bushel Australia again. Now I'm just going to show you a really neat little product. This is something that's been extrapolated, I guess, from Special Forces kind of use of certain equipment items that in a survival situation make a big difference to people in that line of work. Because what we found is when we get captured by an enemy force, one of the things that helps us have a better chance of getting by is to have certain items on hand, embedded, hidden, concealed in amongst our clothing, in the folds of material, in the seams of pants and shirts and hats and brims and cordage generically. A lot of you would be familiar with parachute cord, that stuff there. Okay, so one of the things a lot of us in the Special Forces world were doing many years ago now is we'd get a ferrocium rod, so the base part of your fire steel set like that, and we'd shove it down into the guts of our paracord bootlaces, which meant there was better than average chance of getting that out with me if I get captured and I've got a bit of time where everything else has been taken off me, including all my belt order and pack, and I get a chance to run. So I just pop that thing out of there, and these were just usually tied off at the end of our boots. So that's where sort of this idea's probably come from. But my good friend Dennis at Survival Supplies Australia has sent through a commercially available product that you can get from and through him. Now this is exactly the same system, except under each one of these little rubber coated tabs there's a fire steel. Okay, the set even comes with a little striker blade, although you don't really need that obviously. Bit of sharpened glass, broken glass, sharpened quartz, anything with that high silicate content, back of a blade, back of an old knife, will all elicit the spark for you from that particular bit. So that's how it comes commercially. Now, being a former SASCAT, can't help myself, and that just was too stand out. So what I fundamentally did straight away was pull the fire steel out like that and pop it back into my laces like that. It's a nice small size, and I'll show you what that looks like down here in terms of how it's worn and what else you can do with it. So let's have a look down here. So here's my boots, standard paracord laces, pretty standard stuff for us. The striker blade that comes with this kit, I mean it's a pretty good cutting edge as well. It's nice and shiny, so if I was doing my old job I'd probably hide that in a different way. But for what I do now, I find it very useful to lace it between two of the eyelets underneath the leather fold and just put it in down there. So like I said, while these are great in terms of their fit for purpose thing, I still prefer my own laces, match the colour of my boots and all that stuff, and things like that can just be tucked in out of the way, and no one's really that much wiser that that's there. So it's a cutting tool and a scraper for this particular ferro rod. The ferro rod, as I said, we've just pushed it back into my cord, my paracord here, my paracord laces, and I'll just push it down far enough to either burn it over. I usually just melt this over with a lighter. Cool. And then it's practically invisible. That becomes just part of my footwear. So that's a great idea. If you want to know where to get those things, I'd recommend you go and see Dennis, or talk to Dennis at Survival Supplies Australia, and he should be able to help you out. In terms of just providing another layer of emergency equipment in the field, you couldn't go far wrong with that. So there you go. There's another idea. People come up with great ideas all the time. That's the beauty of this kind of industry. It has got a lot of creative thinkers in it. People are constantly sending me bits and pieces to trial, to have a look at, to give feedback on. You know, and I'm really stoked to see how much creativity is out there in the marketplace, how much creativity is there in individuals and amateurs of all sorts of walks of life who come up with incredible little concepts like that. So well done, and go and see if you can track them down.